Afternoon, everybody. It's about 3 o'clock here on a Wednesday, November the 5th. We're at the at our place we're staying here in Sabang, Cabayugan, Palawan. This is just a few hours after Tino, I believe that's how you say it, the typhoon come by. So I don't think it had a direct hit on Palawan, but maybe up north El Nido or up that way. I'll call it north. But here we had, I would guesstimate 12 to 18 inches of rain, so maybe split that, say 15. In about a 12-hour period, we had water here in front here, about 8 inches deep flowing through here. You couldn't see the ground. The walk was all covered and went down this way, so we're heading out. No power still. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon Wednesday. It's still sprinkling a little bit. We're gonna go walk towards Sabang and document things. There's a tree down over here. The emergency services, they were chainsawing this morning early, so this is the first time I've been out of the house. Some of the bamboo looks to be broken down here because that was a path to the swings, so I'm sure there's lots of little things. So in my humble opinion, it was mostly a rain event here. Wind appeared to be here. I live in between the mountains. There's a tree down there, so I might change my mind once I get out, but power. Hey, hi. So that's a boy that lives there where we were at. So I may change my mind as I get out here, but I didn't think the wind looking. I was up most of the night looking at it, and seemed to be about, I would guesstimate 45, 65 miles an hour on and off. But maybe it was a little stronger as you get towards the ocean here. But like I said, we're sandwiched between 2,000, 3,000 or 4,000 foot mountains in the valley. So just my experience, and we're in the middle of Palawan, more towards Port-au-Prince area on the map. So here's a tree, some damage. So we're going to make a series of videos. I've got to watch my, there's Michelle and our puppy. I call it puppy, even though it's not so much a puppy anymore. It's growing up. We rescued that from town. So here's the power lines down. So this is probably going to be a common theme. Big tree come from across the road here. So water still gushing across the road. I suspect it's several feet deep as you go down through town, because we're again up the mountain road here. We get sprayed by this trike, so we'll stay over. But yeah, this is probably just one of hundreds of places where trees and some floodings occurred. I suspect the road down in town is probably underwater by 2 to 4 feet deep. So this is about 2 or 3 inches flowing across there. So that's what we're facing, and we have no power. It went out around 9, 10 o'clock last night, and then came back on and then I had fell asleep, and then when I woke up it was off again. And it's been off all day, so I got to watch the videos I make because I have no way to charge my phone, and it may be off a week or two. Michelle was saying we have a solar electrical system. I don't know if that's our primary thing, but there's a big solar field up the road from Cabayugan. I'm not sure if we get power from that, probably. But somebody, one of the emergency workers was saying that was had gotten underwater, so that's probably not good. So that could be a reason, plus the lines are down. There's some additional storm damage, but by and large, if it was a direct hit of a number 4, it would be a lot greater damage than this. This is relatively minor, but it's always a perspective, whether it's your property or the other guy's. So if your house is high and dry and there's no tree on it, you go, oh, minor damage. If your house is the one out of 100 that is got a bunch of water in it and has a tree laying on it, then major damage. So you got to watch. Some people are a little aggressive. That's 4 points. There's a 4-point shuriken down the road. So definitely a sandal day type of day, because your feet are going to get wet because half the road is like a small creek. I don't suspect to show you too much, but I wanted to start off with the house there. So last night I made a little 5-10 minute video, and it was before anything had happened. And then last night the water got about, I would say, 8 inches around the house, about 8 inches deep, and flowing like a little big creek or small river. Trying to give people the right of way through the little drier sections, so hopefully they don't soak me. So yeah, this is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It just stopped raining 2 or 3 hours ago. We had approximately 12 to 14 hours of torrential, typhoonish rain. That's usually not running there, so that's first time I've seen that run. I've been here 9 months in Palawan, living here in the Philippines and living in Palawan now. That's an old tree from probably a previous typhoon at some point, some rocks on the road. So must have had quite a current coming down through here. So, but as long as I got some power, I'd probably make at least 1 or 2 videos. So I suspect as we go down the road here, it gets towards the ocean, because all the water funnels down there, and it's relatively steep. I don't know if you can see it, but it's probably a good 20-foot drop to the corner way down there. So as you get down towards the ocean, it's levels out, so the water really funnels in there and concentrates. So here we got a creek back over in there, and there's a little creek on this other side, mountains on both sides. So really concentrates the mountains down through the valley. It's just steep enough here where it doesn't it flows down to the lower spot. But down in town, the last couple tropical systems we had water on average 3 and 4 feet deep. It just depends where you're at, because where the water gets backlogged, it may be 6 or 8 or 10 feet deep, but generally widespread 2 to 4 feet. So I believe this one to be bigger than that. So I'm expecting to see worse flooding, or have been. Like I said, it is come down quite a bit up here. Of course, it's steeper, like I said, just said. So Tino or Tito? Tino, yeah, tropical storm Tino. I think it was a signal 5-4 typhoon. I didn't follow it very closely, but I got some warnings that it was coming, and seek shelter and stock up, so that's what I did. So we're just getting out because the rain has ceased, and it's just been a few sprinkles the last hour. But it was coming down in bucket loads. I would guesstimate 2 to 4 inches an hour would be a good 2 to 3 inches up to 4 for almost non-stop for at least 12 hours. So it just hit the roof and just vibrate and be a mist. 8-10 inches looks like a white powder snow or something. It was so heavy. Here you can see the weeds are pushed over from where the water crossed the road, so you can tell it was fairly deep, probably a foot or 2, as it bulldozed the weeds down. Because normally it looks like this there, and these are just flattened down. So but this is the biggest typhoon I've seen, non-direct hit, but it's still probably the most damage with flood, especially flooding. I would classify this as mostly a flood flooding event, because you can see there's a lot of big trees. It certainly could be far, far worse. It could be impassable. So this here is about 4 inches deep, 3 or 4 inches. Creek kind of zigzags back and forth across the road. But other than that big tree, that's the major thing so far. Often see some wild monkeys here, so we're going to go as far as we can. Depends on the rain stuff here. Now here's a little more substantial water here. This is the most I've seen flowing across this particular section, because I've lived here for 9 months, so I've seen a few tropical systems. Don't want to drop the phone. It's a concrete road, so it's pretty relatively solid. This is quite swift. Wanting to take my feet out from under me a little bit. Maybe 8 inches deep. Having sandals is not such a getting through the worst of it, I think. So, and as you get through town, it usually gets far worse. Last tropical system we had wasn't as bad, and we waded through a meter of water, so I'm sure this one's been much more. That bike got flooded out. There's a lot of these scooters, I call them motorbikes, they only sit a few inches above the ground, so it looks like it's drying out a little bit over here. It's still wet. I suspect this will be wet for at least another 24 hours or more. So yeah, it's quite rapid. Doesn't look as much swift as it is. So yeah, let me know where you're at in the Philippines and what you've seen. And, if any of my friends are watching this, if they send me some videos, I'll post them up on my channel. Yeah, very muddy down here. There's like a church on the left, so I probably could make a dozen videos. I don't have the phone battery to do that because the electric's out. I gotta keep it up a little bit. This looks terrible here, a disaster for this church organization. Looks like a mountain came across like a river right on them. This is terrible. It's carved out a foot deep of mud and debris there. That's not normally there. That's added. So it's come through the church here. Just terrible. We'll try to crank out a couple videos of what we're seeing. This is bad. I expect to see a lot worse as we continue down here. So the water's still flowing. So none of this mud is normally here. It's usually a little bit of grass like what you see here. So it's come down through the church there, probably into some of the buildings. Looks like it's used the entrance there as the entryway, rushing down along the side here. You do always want to be careful in flood waters where the road could be potentially washed away. So we've got to watch it. There's some rocks and debris. So locals trying to get around all the damage. So as I said in my other previous video, we're in this one on that note. If anybody has anything they want to donate to people here and help out, you can use my channel. Send me a message, contact me on Facebook. Long-term ballot buying boxes of anything you want that's useful. Short-term, if you got a couple bucks and you want to send something Western Union, I'm set up. There's a local Western Union, and of course I will document all this. I'm not going to pocket it, and I'll show where I hand out some money to people or the goods. So if you want to send a ballot buying box in 2 or 3, 4 months, when we get that, I'll show me opening that up and the people gathered around getting what they need and want out of it. And same with the money. I'll just come down, and if I see somebody that I think could use a helping hand, I'll get them some money. So my channel, that's I want that to be part of the channel. I've been saying that since I started 3 years ago. I want to contribute back to people in the Philippines or wherever I'm at, and I happen to be in the Philippines. So I'm not going to make it a donation channel, but it's certainly going to be part of it. So as my channel has lots of different interests and varieties, so that's part of it. But so far it's been so small and slow to grow, and I haven't gotten the viewership to subscribe or monetize yet. So although I'm close. All right, we're in this one and kick up another one. Keep a check on tabs on my battery. So that's Tino, I believe, a tropical storm. Signal number 4. This is the damage and some of the flooding here in Palawan, Cabayugan. Man walking his caravel up the road with his trike. All right, thanks for watching. I got this water dripping from the road. All right, thank you. Everybody take care, be safe, and let me know in the comments what your experience, where you've been. So I'm sure this has been widespread through a big portion of the Philippines. So I don't believe we got a direct hit here, at least locally. So glancing below. That's my time. Thanks for watching. This is Terry's Tino tropical storm update and what's happened the last about 24 hours now. Thanks for watching, everybody.